Hey class, so today we're going to look at scale drawings on starting on page, let's see here, on page 578. If you haven't done this already, you need to go back and take some notes on page 576 and 577 so that you understand kind of what's going on here, okay? So this is what you'll be doing after you take the notes. Please take the notes first. This is not me teaching you how to do this. This is me kind of trying to answer any questions that you might have. Okay, but let's take a look at this first one. It says on a map, the distance from Akron to Cleveland measures 2 centimeters. That would just be on the map, okay? What is the actual distance if the scale of the map shows that 1 centimeter is equal to 30 kilometers? Well, for all of these, we're going to want to set up a proportion. So if we know that our scale is going to be 1 centimeter equals 30 kilometers, we need to start that off in our proportion. So 1 centimeter over 30 kilometers, and that's going to be set equal to something. So we're going to have it equal. Now the next thing that we have is this 2 centimeters. Okay, so if you're using cubes to kind of notate stuff, oops, that should be circled. You'll want to circle your numbers, so 1, 2, and 30, and then you're going to want to box those keywords like we did in the last lesson. So this is going to be centimeters, this is going to be centimeters, and this is going to be kilometers. Now what that does for us is it shows us where things need to go in the proportion. Since I have these 2 centimeter measurements, they go in the same section of my proportion. So if they start off on top, like it did here, I put it on top. You could have put it in the bottom, that's fine too, but it just needs to match on the other side. So my 2 centimeters are going to match my previous scale, or my previous fraction on the other side. So I should have centimeters and centimeters both on the top or both on the bottom. Doesn't matter as long as they're both on the same side. So that's going to go over our mystery number. We're not quite sure. Okay. If we do cross products, we're going to have X centimeters. And then on the other side, we're going to have 30 times 2, which is 60. Luckily for us, we don't even need to solve anything after that. That's just going to be X is equal to 60. And since X is on the bottom, what unit is that going to be? Well, that's going to be kilometers because it's supposed to be in the bottom. It's the same as this 30 kilometers down here on the bottom. And there you go. So let's do one more. Let's slide over and look at number 2. An engineer makes a model of a bridge using a scale of 1 inch equals 3 yards. The length of the actual bridge is 50 yards. What is the length of the model? So again, we're going to start by circling those numbers. Oops, there we go. 1 inch, 3 yards, 50 yards. And I also want to take a note of my keywords, inches, yards, and yards. So in this case, I'm going to start with the scale again. I'm going to say 1 inch is going to go over 3 yards, and that's going to equal, if this would work for me, there we go, that's going to equal some other proportion. Now, where do those 50 yards go? Well, of course, that's going to need to go in the bottom again because that's where yards was already put. I put it in the bottom, so the other yards need to stay in the bottom. Again, you can flip it over, that's fine. You could have put 3 yards on top over 1 inch, but this way I keep it all consistent and the yards go with the yards. Now, our missing number is, of course, up here in the numerator, and we're going to do those cross products one more time. Okay, we're going to do 3 times x is going to, of course, be 3x. So let's do that over here. 3x is equal to, it looks like 50, okay, because 1 times 50 yards is going to be 50. Let's make that look a little nicer here. There we go. And then you're going to divide out the 3 because it's the only thing standing in x's way. So x is going to be 50 thirds, or if I turn this to a mixed number, which makes a lot more sense here, I'm going to get 16 and 2/3. Or if you type this into a calculator and you got 16.6 repeating or 0.7, that would also be okay. But the last thing is, what's our units on this? If you said inches, you're correct because it was missing on the top, and on the top is inches. And there's your final answer, 16 and 2/3 or 16.7 inches.